In this video, we will be discussing about check if array is sorted and rotated. Given an array nums, return true if the array was originally sorted in non-decreasing order, then rotated some number of positions including 0, otherwise return false. There may be duplicates in the original array. So in the input, we are given an array which could originally be sorted in a non-decreasing order. Non-decreasing order means increasing order, but since the array could have duplicates, that is the reason that they have mentioned non-decreasing order. Now there was a array which was sorted in increasing order initially, and then it was rotated some number of positions, right? So basically, if let us suppose that I have the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Right now the numbers are sorted. Now, if I rotate them by one, so basically by rotation, what do I mean is that first I will rotate at this point. So what will happen is this 5 will go from here and it will come in the starting. So the new array will be 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then the next possible rotation is to rotate at this point. Then 4 and 5 will move forward, right? So it will be 4, 5, 1, 2, 3. Then if I do at this point, then it will be 3, 4, 5, 1, 2. Then if I do at this point, then it will be 2, 3, 4, 5, 1. And if I do at this point, then it will be the original array itself, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? So basically, for this sorted array, these are the possible rotations that we have. Right? There were total 5 elements. For 5 elements, we have total 5 variations of the rotations. Right? Now, what they are saying is that when you are given this array as an input, you need to tell whether this particular array was originally sorted and then rotated some number of times to obtain this result, right? So now if you look over here, the elements of this array are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that is what I have written over here. So if this particular array was originally sorted, then this array should be one of the variations of these, right? So if we look 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, and that is what we have over here. So then that means this array was originally sorted, and in this case our answer will be true, right? If we look at the second example, so here the elements are 1, 2, 3, and 4. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. If I rotate at the last position, it will be 4, 1, 2, 3. Then if I rotate before 3, then it will be 3, 4, 1, 2. Another variation will be 2, 3, 4, 1. And then the last one will be original itself. Now, is this array present anywhere over here? No. Then that means this was not originally sorted, and here our answer will be false, right? So this is what the question is asking us. So how are we going to solve this? So as we said over here, what we did, I considered all of these elements, I sorted them, I found out all of the variations, and I checked that is this particular array present as a variation over here or not. If it is present, then I will return a true, otherwise false, right? Basically what we can do is that we can create a copy of this vector and then we can sort it. So when you will do that, you will get this particular array, right? And then one by one, what you can do is that take the last element, pop it from the vector and push it into the beginning, right? So you will get this particular array. Then in the next operation, again take the last element and push it into the beginning. So you will get this particular array. So you can perform this operation for all the elements, that is n number of times. So you will get all of these vectors, and then at each point you can compare these vectors with the original input. If at any point they are equal, return a true, otherwise at the end return a false, right? So if you see, first we have taken a copy of this and then we have sorted it, so that will take log n time, right? And then here for the sorted array, at each iteration what we are doing is we are popping out the last element, which is constant, but we are inserting it into the beginning, which will take n time, right? And this operation will be performed for n different elements. So the overall time complexity of this approach will be n square. Given the constraints, n is 100, so this approach will work. We will look at its code later. Right now, let's see how we can optimize it. So if you see over here, in a sorted array, each element is always greater than equals to its previous element, right? 2 is greater than equals to 1, 3 is greater than equals to 2. Basically, nums of I is always greater than equals to nums of I minus 1. Right. Now, in these variations, what are we doing is that we are splitting the sorted array at some point. We are taking all of these elements and we are putting it in the starting, right? So then that means in these arrays, there will be exactly one point at which this condition won't be satisfied. And then at all other points, this condition will be satisfied. So if we look over here, 1 is not greater than equals to 5. So here the condition is not satisfied. But here 2 is greater than equals to 1, yes. 3 greater than equals to 2, yes. 4 greater than equals to 3, yes. So there was only one position where the condition was not satisfied. So then that means this is a valid rotation of the sorted array, right? But one catch over here is that we need to check these two elements also, because right now it is okay. But if let us suppose here we had a 3, then there will be one position where the condition is not satisfied, and at all other places the condition is satisfied. But this is not a valid rotation of the sorted array, right? So we need to check these two elements also, right? Basically, this element which is nums of 0, this should be greater than equals to this particular element, right? So simply what we can do is that we can take the original array and we can start iterating in this array, and then we can check that where this condition is not satisfied. Wherever this condition is not satisfied, we will count it, and at the end we will also consider the first and the last element. So here if the condition is not satisfied, then also we will count it. Now if at the end our count is greater than 1, basically if the count is 0, then that means the array is already sorted. If it is 1, then that means there is exactly one position where the condition is not satisfied. So in those two cases, our answer will be true, otherwise it will be false. So if we see over here, here the condition is satisfied, here not satisfied. So one position. Then 2 greater than equals to 1, yes. Then 3 greater than equals to 2, yes. So there is exactly one position where the condition is not satisfied. So here our answer will be true. Then if we check in this particular case, 1 greater than equals to 2, no, not satisfied. 3 greater than equals to 1, yes. 4 greater than equals to 3, yes. 2 greater than equals to 4, no. So there are two positions where the condition is not satisfied. So here our answer will be false, right? So since here we are just iterating once in the nums array, so our time complexity will be order of n. First, let's consider the brute force approach. So we will take the size of nums vector. So n will be equals to nums dot size, and then we will create a copy of this vector. Let's name it sorted. We will give it nums and then we'll sort it. So sorted dot begin comma sorted dot end, right? Now once we have done this, we will start rotating it. So for int I equals to 0, I less than n, I plus plus, we'll take the last element. So the last element will be equals to sorted of n minus 1, and then we will pop it. So sorted dot pop back, and after popping it, we will insert at the beginning. How do we insert? Sorted dot insert, and then sorted dot begin comma the element. Basically we are telling that in the beginning we want to insert the last element, right? After doing this, if at any point the sorted vector becomes equals to the nums vector, then we will return a true, and at the end we will return false. Time complexity we have already discussed, which will be n square, and space complexity we have taken an extra vector over here, so it will be n. So now let's look at the optimized approach. So let's remove all of this. So as I said, we will be counting the number of positions where the condition is not satisfied. So let's take a count variable and initialize it to 0. And then we will run a for loop of I starting from 1 till n, because we want to compare it with the previous element. So the condition is that nums of I should be greater than equals to nums of I minus 1. So if nums of I is less than nums of I minus 1, then in that case we will increase our count, because here the condition is not satisfied. And then out of this we want to compare the first and the last element. So the 0th element has to be greater than equals to the last element. So if the 0th element is less than the last element, then we will increase our count by 1, and at the end we can return count less than 2, right? So basically if the count is 0 or 1, then we will return a true, otherwise we will return a false. So let's try to run this. So the test cases are accepted. Let's submit this. So it got accepted. Thank you so much for watching. Please like the video and subscribe our channel.